Good morning. It has been a hot second or like 3 weeks since I've done a video. So I thought, while baby is sleeping, I will jump on and do a video. This one has recently been on my mind, but kind of has been jumping out at me for a while. I want to talk about toxic positivity, which may be kind of like a buzzy phrase. I'll see if I can find some other ways to word it. But for years, I was into gratitude and had a gratitude journal that I wrote in every day, and always tend to be a positive person and look on the bright side and really encourage others to look on the bright side. But have realized that when we dismiss how we're really feeling, we don't heal from it. And that emotion that we're struggling with becomes more of an emotion or becomes more of an issue. I know for myself, I'm really good at pushing things down, pushing trauma down, pushing bad feelings down. And I think that a lot of my struggles, maybe even struggles with my eating habits and my weight habits and my weight and such, are simply manifestations of how I just push things down and don't deal with them. And no, it's good, it's silver lining. So that's something I'm really working on, and trying to be really present with myself and what I'm feeling and identifying feelings and letting myself process those feelings. Growing up, anger was not a feeling that I was ever allowed to feel, or any of my siblings were ever allowed to feel. That was an emotion that only my dad could feel. And I'm not going to get into it because that's his story, but it's very fascinating when we look at emotions and how we grew up around them. And I noticed even people with my son, when he starts crying, oh, don't cry, don't cry, don't cry, be happy, be happy. You're only allowed to be happy. And that's just not realistic, and it's not healthy. So I was scrolling through Instagram and found this quote, and it said, "Let us be mindful not to use gratitude to gaslight our pain." And I was like, whoa, yes. We have to give our pain a day in the sun. We have to give our pain, it's however long, it's 10 minutes, it's day, it's week, it's month, it's year, to come up and out. Like, very similar, super gross analogy, but very similar to a pimple. Like, that crap has to get in, get out before we can heal and move on. Right now, in this time when we are asked to stay at home and stay away from people, these things are all bubbling to the surface. All of our struggles, worries, concerns, past shames, hurts, etc. are right there. We are numbing out via social media, via food, so on and so forth, but most of us are not in our daily work life where we're just so busy we don't have time to think about anything. People are struggling to sleep. Suicide rate is going up exponentially because people are having to sit in their pain and don't know what to do with it. And I don't know that I have all the answers in the world, except to feel it, to be okay with it, to stop this bullshit of everything is okay. Like, at least I get to be home with my kids. Yeah, you're home with your kids, and you're having to work, and you're having to make sure that they get their schoolwork done and are fed, and are processing your emotions appropriately and processing their emotions appropriately about not being able to see friends or grandma or grandpa, and why did school end early, and why did so-and-so's dad die, and why can't we go visit Nana in the nursing home, and so on and so forth. So we're not just home having special time with our kids. We're not just not able to be in the office for those of us that don't have kids. Like, right now is really hard. Whether you feel like this is justified or not, like, that is really hard. For those struggling with this is not fair and this is not okay and they need to let us out, like, that is valid too. So learning how to validate your struggles just as you would validate a young child's feelings. And as soon as we start telling the children around us that they can't feel how they feel, as soon as I find myself starting to say to my son, like, oh, it's okay, I'm telling him how to feel, and that's not okay, because he obviously, in that moment, he's one, he can't talk, he can't tell me how he feels other than crying. and he doesn't have words, so I don't know what he's trying to tell me, but he's trying to tell me something. So me instead saying to him, like, I'm so sorry that you're crying right now. I don't know why you're crying. I wish I knew, but I love you, instead of like, you're okay, you're okay, you're okay. But that's not my default. My default is to say, oh, you're okay, hush, 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 shh, shh, you're okay. And I find, like, when kids fall down or hurt themselves, it's like, brush it off, shake it off, you're gonna be okay, like, just shake off the pain. But like, how is that healthy? How is that okay? That turns us into adults that numb out, that when people ask us how we are, we're like, we're fine, we're fine, we're fine. And then you find out that that person, like, is really not fine, that they are medicated, that they have spent time in the psychiatric ward for attempts of suicide, that like they don't feel comfortable sharing their pain. So who are we as humans who heal in common, who need each other, not much different than a herd of horses, not much different than a pack of wolves, not much different than any of that. There's reasons that we were in tribes as Native Americans, that, you know, the Inuits live in their villages, that cavemen had their groups. We are not so different. We have not come so far in our evolutionary process that we don't need other people. But we've come to this point in this place to think that we're individuals, that we need to just take care of ourselves and get through it and be okay because that's just what we do. No, like, pretty sure that any of our traumas or struggles did not happen within a vacuum. They happened as a result of other people. And not blaming other people, I'm not saying we can't own our shit, but where we are hurt in community, we need healing in community. And it doesn't mean we're going to find the healing in the same place that we found the hurt. Absolutely not. Not to say that we don't need to go inward and find healing in ourselves. Absolutely not. But to remember, we are human beings who need other human beings. We're not put on this earth to do this alone. There's a reason that we want to be with a partner. There's a reason that we want to have families. There's a reason that we want to have pets. There's a reason that we want to be able to go out to eat again and be able to go out and shop again, because these are things that are they're innate. They are programmed into us from the very beginning of time, that we need other human beings to keep us to be in community with. So whatever that looks like right now, it's different. It may look like Zoom, it may look like phone calls, it may look like going for long social distancing walks or drives, or however you feel is best right now. But do it, because when we start to deny ourselves and we start to paint everything with rainbows and sunshine, it's bullshit, because you can't put lipstick on a pig. The pig is still the pig. So stop trying to put lipstick on pigs.